From the Peyton Manning retirement, from the NFL draft, to free agency, to the Colin Kaepernick controversy, to the whole preseason, 17 grueling weeks of the regular season, the wild card weekend, which was kind of a bust, divisional round, the conference championships, and now we are finally here. Super Bowl 51, the matchup we have all been waiting for. A long NFL season will finally be coming to an end this February 5th. But who's counting down anymore? We're set for a pretty exciting matchup in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And even if you don't really watch my channel regularly, I really hope that you at least watch this video, because the goal is for 1,000 views on this. We came up just short of maybe 750 last year, if I recall. So let's go for 1,000 this year on this type of video. So before we get into the keys, the previews, and also the prediction for what you guys are mainly here for, let's start off with how both these teams got here. The Atlanta Falcons. Many thought they could make the playoffs this year, but they had an 0-1 start. They lost their first game of the season against Tampa Bay. I kind of lost hope in the Falcons. I mean, Devontae Freeman wasn't getting in a lot of touches. I mean, there was talks that maybe Tevin Coleman would be the starting running back from here on out. But Devontae Freeman just improved on it. He fed off of that controversy and all that criticism. They responded with quality wins in weeks 2 through 5. Great quality teams. Oakland, New Orleans, Carolina, Denver. Those two teams were in last year's Super Bowl. They beat those teams. And in convincing fashion, too. However, they weren't able to finish a lot of their games. They blew fourth quarter leads against Seattle, but it was on the road, though. And against the, as of last week, Los Angeles Chargers. And many were questioning Kyle Shanahan's play calling. However, they were able to recover from that 2-game losing streak and get a come-from-behind win against Green Bay in Week 8. But then their season kind of started to go a little up and down a little bit. They had a weak loss against the Eagles. That was their worst loss of the season. The Eagles, they're not that bad of a team. I mean, I don't think they're horrible, but I don't think they're good. I think they're an okay team. I feel like they're a team that's kind of on the rise. That could be on the rise in the next maybe 7 to 9 years. But we'll see. We'll see how Carson Wentz develops, but that's another video for another day. A heartbreaker against Kansas City. I had the pleasure of watching this game, because I used to not be able to watch the NFL on Sundays this year, for reasons that I don't really want to talk about. Because it's just kind of eating at me still, of why I was able to watch football on Sundays a lot, like I've been getting to for the last several weeks. And I was just completely devastated, because if the Falcons were only going to win one game that year, I was hoping it would be against the Chiefs. But they tried to go for 2, but it got intercepted by Eric Berry and ran back for a touchdown. But in the losses that the Falcons have had, they were probably have been capable of winning all those games. I mean, Tampa Bay, they didn't really feed Freeman the ball a lot. Seattle and the now LA Chargers, if they would have just finished those games, if they would have finished the game against the Chiefs, realistically, we're talking about maybe the Falcons, their record may have been 11-5 in the regular season, but it could have possibly been 14-2 or even 15-1. They're that strong of a team. They're that underrated and undervalued. Whoever was going to clinch the first round bye, win the NFC South. They had dominating wins in the playoffs against Seattle and Green Bay, who are two great teams that both made the playoffs. Let's go to the Patriots now. Now, this team is also deserving of being here. It starts off with Roger Goodell and the NFL just slapping that 4-game suspension off on Tom Brady. Appeal after appeal, but they just kept slapping on that 4-game suspension. They were able to go 3-0 without Brady, which really, really got on the nerves of the NFL. And with every touchdown that Tom Brady threw when he came back, just Brady being Brady, I mean, just more anger Roger Goodell had. Just he was throwing fits, and he was just so angry and just livid. However, they've had some obstacles too. They had a home loss against Seattle, which they could have won the game. I believe they had 4 chances from the 1 yard line, but couldn't get it in the end zone to tie the game. And then you lost Gronk for the season. Theoretically, when you lost Gronk, they said the time recovery would be 8 to 12 weeks. But the irony is, at that time, the Super Bowl was about 8 to 10 weeks away. They've clinched home field advantage. It was good enough to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And they had dominating wins against Houston and Pittsburgh to get to this moment. So before we even get to the keys, let me just say this one thing. Whoever wins this game on February 5th, they will have earned it. For the Falcons, they will have earned it because they've overcome the adversity. And so has New England. Both these teams overcome adversity. They've overcome the pressure. Nobody really thought Atlanta should be here. Nobody was wanting the Patriots to be here, except for Patriots fans themselves. But let me just go back. Because you guys slept on me. You guys slept on me. Let's do a little flashback Monday. These are my power rankings. I had New England and Atlanta 1 and 2 in the power rankings for a reason. But some of you thought, oh, it should have been Green Bay, it should have been Dallas, it should have been this and that. They were 1 and 2 for a reason. You guys slept on me. I haven't told you I was going to be the Super Bowl matchup. But you guys slept on me again. And when I said I wasn't sold on Dallas' defense, somebody commented, but you're sold on Atlanta's defense. Alright. But as we've noticed, the Falcons' defense has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. And the Patriots are just scoring at will, basically, in their games. Now let's get to these keys. The reason why we are all here this evening, or in today, or whenever you decide to watch this. The goal is for 1,000 views on this. Let's start with the keys for the Falcons. Mistake-free football. They did a great job doing that against Green Bay and Seattle. Matt Ryan is just playing efficiently. I think that Matt Ryan just at his prime right now. If he's not, he's at least playing like it. Look for your playmakers. Your dynamic wideout. Your game changers in Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Taylor Gabriel. Note that Taylor Gabriel was a former Cleveland Brown. And Julio Jones was a Cleveland Brown for about 3 minutes. Feed Freeman and Coleman. Your two-headed monster. Practically the best running back duo in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. Pressure Brady, make him feel uncomfortable. So now we're kind of getting into the defensive keys for Atlanta. Pressure Tom Brady, make him feel uncomfortable. I mean, even just making contact on Tom Brady, like forcing him to throw the football quickly. Just forcing him to just make mistakes. Because he can make mistakes. We saw him make mistakes against Houston. We saw that happen out of Tom Brady, and he got frustrated. Because Tom Brady is not the same quarterback when he is pressured, when he is flustered, when defenses pressure him. Look at what happened in the AFC Championship game last year against Denver. Von Miller put all that pressure on him. He led that Denver defense to pressure Tom Brady, rattled him all game, and it caused him to get frustrated. He was not the same quarterback that day. Keep up the New England wideouts. Now, theoretically, I think that the New England receivers will have a huge advantage over the secondary. Keanu Neal, Deion Jones. 2 rookies. So I envision Edelman, Chris Hogan to have a significant advantage over those 2 guys. But if they can keep up with them, if they can break up a couple passes, it can be a whole new ball game. Win the turnover battle. That's really important. They've won the turnover battle against Green Bay. They won the turnover battle against Seattle. And that's very key. The defense is getting turnovers. And also, this is kind of for either side of the ball, depending on how you look at it. Take advantage of New England's mistakes. Like if it's interception, try to get as many yards as you can on interception. Setting it up for a short field. That's what you got to do to beat New England. You got to have a short field. And to think, Atlanta's defense is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Many thought Atlanta's defense was weak. I believe in the regular season they allowed 25.7 points per game on average. But there are a lot of those points were given up in mop-up duty. They gave up 21 points to the Rams in the fourth quarter when they were up 49-0. They gave up a couple of touchdowns in the games against the Panthers and the Saints when they had the game wrapped up already in the fourth quarter. So the Falcons' defense it's very underrated in a way because it's not as bad as what people are just anticipating it to look like. They're just overshadowing it because there's a bunch of rookies and second-year players on that defense. Let's go over some of the keys for the Patriots. Pressure Matt Ryan. I mean, Matt Ryan as well isn't the same quarterback when being pressured. Because the offensive line for Atlanta did really well against Green Bay. I don't think Matt Ryan was sacked one time in that game. I don't think he was sacked very much against Seattle. I couldn't see a lot of that game. I was able to see the entire second half. I don't know if I think Matt Ryan was probably pressured a couple times, but he was able to overcome that. Account for Julio Jones. Julio Jones is probably going to be the secret weapon for the Atlanta Falcons. I think Julio has to have a fantastic game, kind of like what he did against Green Bay, for Atlanta to be able to win this game. Because the Falcons are going to win this game, they're going to have to get Julio Jones going. They're going to have to get the running game going, which kind of leads into these next couple of keys. Start fast. Just start fast. Just basically put the pedal down on the floor. Take away the Atlanta running game of Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. We saw the Packers defense do a great job eliminating the Falcons running game. Because I don't think there was a bunch of huge runs. I believe there was only maybe about 2 huge running plays from Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. At least from what I saw. I think there was only maybe 2 plays where they ran for more than 10 yards. Because when we saw that, they were only running about 2 or 3 or 4 yards a carry. Forced Matt Ryan to have to win the game. Matt Ryan having to find the playmakers. Because Matt Ryan does not necessarily have the experience of winning big games like Tom Brady does. So if this Patriots defense could force Matt Ryan to win the game, I think the Patriots will be sitting in great shape. Get your dynamic wideouts open, especially Julian Edelman and Chris Hogan. I mean, Chris Hogan did a great job. And Edelman, those 2 in particular, those are the 2 receivers that Atlanta Center has to be worried about. Those 2 the most. Because when they get open, they have the potential of getting all the way into the end zone. I mean, just because you may have them pinned at the 5-yard line, easily Hogan or Edelman can get wide open, and all of a sudden they'll have the ball at midfield. Because both these offenses in particular, they can get yards in chunks. Limit production against Atlanta's wideouts. I envision that Matt Patricia is going to really just be hard knocks on these speed wideouts. I think if they can eliminate the running game and the whiteouts. Atlanta's powerless. There's a possibility, and that's ultimately going back to having to force Matt Ryan to win the game. Because forcing Matt Ryan to have to find ways to win this game. It would be difficult if they eliminate the running game, that's probably their strength. But what will this game ultimately come down to? Here's 5 things. 1. Julio Jones actually being coverable. I mean, Malcolm Butler did a great job of shutting down Antonio Brown in the AFC Championship game. But many think Julio Jones can't be coverable. Is there any corner in this league that can cover Julio Jones? We'll find out February 5th and see what Malcolm Butler does. Time of possession. Now, I've just been barking at time of possession throughout the last couple of games that we've predicted here. Basically kind of a game of chicken. We've seen what the Falcons have done. Historically, they take long drives early on in the game. Their first drive, they always take a long time. It's team ball. They don't go for the big plays right away. They start small. I feel like if both teams start small, it'll keep the other offense off the field and the defense is gassed. Because if it comes down to which defense is gassed, that team's going to lose. And can the defenses force turnovers? These are the 2 teams in the NFL that have turned the football over the least this season. But can these defenses force some turnovers? Because these teams barely make any mistakes. But I guarantee you we're going to see some mistakes in this ballgame. And kind of going into this, which team can take advantage of those mistakes? Because, again, I guarantee that each of these teams are going to have at least 2 to 3 mistakes in this game. It's going to come down to which team can take advantage of those mistakes. And which team get their running game going. Because we didn't see the running game be a lot effective in the conference championship games. But some of it is because they didn't necessarily have to. I mean, Matt Ryan just had a field day against Green Bay secondary, and Tom Brady had a field day against Pittsburgh secondary. So whichever team will get the running game going the best is going to win this game. Now, ultimately, what we've all been waiting for, the prediction. Well, here we go. You would think the New England Patriots are the better team on paper. You would think that based on paper and experience. You've got Tom Brady, who's playing, I believe, his 7th Super Bowl. 6th or 7th. Who really keeps... Yeah, his 7th Super Bowl. And you've got Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and all them playing their first Super Bowl. So clearly New England has the experience. However, Julio Jones had his 9 receptions, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with 3 different injuries in his foot. At least that's what I was reading on the tweet, or on the article I read. I think the running game for the Falcons gets going. What we're forgetting is Atlanta's defense is getting stronger and stronger. The more times they play, the least amount of points they give up. But I think we're in for a great game. I think this could go back and forth, back and forth. We may see maybe a bit of a runaway game. We might see that a little bit. We could see a defensive battle. We could see it go different places. However, by a score of 34-28, your Super Bowl 51 champions will be the Atlanta Falcons. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the athleteshub.org. Thank you to everybody that's watched. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at JBTalkSports. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you in my next video. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you don't watch any more of my videos.